the United Kingdom. He said the disease traveled from India via Dubai and entered Lagos on the 17th of March 2020. Fire has gutted the Treasury House, the office of the Accountant General of the Federation in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Reports say the fire started from the third floor of the building, affecting the office of the AGF and other important offices. At the time of filing this report, the fire has been put off. The cause of the fire outbreak is still unknown. Medical doctors at the forefront of COVID-19 treatment at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, has complained over non-payment of their allowances. The 5 doctors and 4 nurses treating over 40 COVID-19 patients, including 3 cleaners working at the isolation center, are supposedly collectively owed over 30 million naira. Report says the doctors were selected and trained by the government for the sensitive nature of the virus and were promised to be paid 50,000 naira daily, while the nurses were to be paid 40,000 daily. Top health officials told newsmen that only 40,000 had been given to each doctor since they started working at the isolation center on February 15, 2020. Meanwhile, 2 pilots of coveting helicopters have been remanded in the Nigerian Correctional Center for allegedly disobeying the executive order of the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. The 2 pilots are identified as Samuel Ugoji and Samuel Buhari. Chief Magistrate Didi Ihia Maduenyi remanded the pilots in the Port Harcourt Correctional Center till May 19, 2020, when the trial will commence, and also ordered that they be subjected to the COVID-19 test as to ascertain their status. The pilots had earlier been arrested by the police for flouting the state government's directive by flying unknown passengers into the Air Force Base. On the foreign scene, France has recorded up to 10,000 deaths due to coronavirus. Out of the 10,000 deaths, 7,091 were recorded in the hospital and 3,237 were recorded in the home of the elderly. Top health official Jeremy Salomon told journalists that they are worried over the epidemic. On the entertainment, journalists have been barred from covering the trial of popular musician Azeez Fashola, also known as Naira Marley, at the Magistrate Court in Ogba, Lagos. Naira Marley and former Lagos gubernatorial aspirant Bolahon Badmosi and wife were being arraigned for attending the 43rd birthday organized by Nollywood actress Funke Akindele for her husband, which contravened Lagos state government directive on social gathering. Reports said the police kept tight security at the 2 gates of the court when the defendants were brought into the court at about 11 a.m. in a police van. And that's the wrap of the news update at 1. Business Today comes up next with Bolu and Wealth. Do stay with us. I am Wealth Wilson. Thank you for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Hold on, Kata. No, don't say else. Just bring 5,000 now.
Only
Only.
make the kata day. Make the code remain.
They worry.
You were not aware you're a thief. Now that you know that your money is coming from a thief, do you not see why you're a thief?
All right, still talking about affairs of the federal government. We understand also that the federal government.
Welcome to today's edition of Beats and Pieces in the Premium Talk and Newsway.
And it's going to be 1-1 Morata. 1-0 is never good enough.
That's where we're called the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Act.
Here we go.
With the dawn of the global pandemic, coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, we have been advised to self-isolate and observe social distancing rules. We at Today 95.1 FM want to tell you that while you self-isolate, it is important that you take this time out to get a skill, improve on your old and existing skills, read a book, listen to educational tapes, work out if you need to, bond with your family. Don't just spread fear and panic, self-isolate and grow. Make this time count for you. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Today is business. Today is a new trend for your businesses. We give you all the information you need to grow your business, new ideas and innovations that keep you earning more and staying relevant.
Every day, we engage in business, buying and selling, trading, and exchanging of services as individuals or as a country. Money goes round, it goes up and down. But have you ever wondered what business is all about? And have you ever wondered how you can stand out in your business?
Today FM has got you covered in this all-new program, Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Learn all you need from professionals on how the country runs its business affairs and how you can be an outstanding entrepreneur and grow your business.
Business Today, every Wednesday between the hours of 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
On Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon to you. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Here is the Woman Crush Wednesday. Is that what they call it? And I'm crushing on summer right about now. Her name is Wealth Wilson.
Since when did we start doing the Woman Crush Wednesday?
I heard for the first time. It's I don't know. Maybe I just came out from under the cave and
okay.
I heard that is the WCW. Yeah. So
okay.
Since it's WW Wealth Wilson,
I know, right?
Yeah. So
that comes out good anyway.
So Wealth Crush Wednesday. Woman Crush Wednesday, crushing worlds. Wednesday Wilson. You know how it is. But anyways, welcome to today's. Oh no, Business Today. On Wednesdays usually we would have Business Today, and welcome to Business Today on Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. I am the man of the people. My name is Kalada, and with me in the studio is of course the one I'm crushing on, Wealth Wilson.
Since when has this crush been
just Wednesday
going on?
Just Wednesday.
Okay, just on Wednesday.
Yeah, just Wednesday.
So it's Wealth.
It's a
Crush
Wednesday thing. It's good for business.
WCW.
Wealth Crush Wednesday.
Wealth Crush Wilson. Or Wealth Crush Wednesday. Anyone you want.
No, semantically, when you look at that, there are different meanings you could, deduce from Wealth Crush Wilson.
But I'm really not just comfortable with everything going on in the studio right now.
All right, guys.
Okay, business today. Let's get into
Without
the
much
business.
ado.
Let's get into the business of today. Yeah.
Usually on Business Today, what we do is we talk about everything that has to do with business transactions, not just in River State, but in Nigeria. But today, we're driving right home and we're trying to see what's going on in the business terrain here in River State.
All right.
I mean, looking at the lockdown, everything that has happened, a lot of people have been talking about increase in prices for food commodities and all of that. A lot of people have been talking about, lost goods and because of the closure of the borders. So we will be looking at the face of business in River State.
All right. We will be localizing business today. Usually, like you said, we would have looked at the stock market. We would have looked at what is happening in the business terrain in Nigeria. We probably would have dabbled into what the NNPC managing director, said yesterday. Talking about removing subsidy. But we want to really focus because it looks like every time we turn for a bit, something is happening due to COVID-19. And we want to spare you all that details or all that talk of COVID-19. And we want to, today just look at River State because we all are in River State. I mean, a lot of us are in River State or living and doing business around River State. So somehow you're directly or indirectly affected by the economics in River State. And as you know, business or economics has to do with the buying and the selling of whether it is tomatoes, whether it is onions, or just basically
Basic
goods
and
and services. Yeah. So we want to be looking at what is happening. Now, you are no stranger to the news that borders have been closed allegedly, because some people say they are passing. Allegedly. Now, permit me to use that word, allegedly. Borders have been closed allegedly for 3 weeks now, 25th of March up until now. Yeah, so let's say 2-3 weeks, thereabout. And borders have been closed, so there has been no coming in of trucks for food. Basically, businesses that usually we would export from other states have been grounded. And also, 2 days later, after the 25th, that was on the 27th, the government closed the market. So literally, only things that were allowed to sell or to be bought were essential goods and services. So if that be the case, have people been thriving in River State?
The thing is, we would not only concentrate on markets and maybe essential commodities, because those people would have seen a little buying and selling. We will be talking about traders who, involve in certain trades such as selling of electronics. Those aren't very essential. Selling of motor parts and all of that.
Are they seeing clients?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, business pretty much will stall for those people. So we're going to look at how it is affecting them, how it has affected the importation of their goods as well, because most of these people would have to import whether...
Sorry to cut you short. Now, this is very important that we have this conversation, the conversation of how businesses are faring in River State, because, yesterday we argued here in the studio, Bolu, Wealth, and I, about the palliatives being put in place by the River State Governor, Izinwo Wike. And, he did set up a committee, which was another source of argument and debate in the studio. And, I was very not okay with the fact that... I was not very okay with the fact that the PDP chairman in River State was heading the committee. Now, I heard rumors, which I cannot ascertain right about now, that the goods and commodities being, distributed allegedly is being done in a marginalized way. Like I said,
marginalized way.
Let's not go into the politics.
Okay.
But my point is, for us to be able to ascertain what kind of palliatives the government should be giving to the people, we need to also know how the people are faring in terms of businesses. Now, for civil servants, we know that level 1 to 10, stay at home, work from home, even if I don't know what it means to work from home in a Nigerian situation, but hey, let's go with it, work from home, right? And I'm wondering, for civil service, we know they are working from home. But what about the man, like Well said, that sells electronics, that is not an essential item? What about the market woman who has had her market closed for almost 2 weeks and reopened only for her to sell from 7 to 12 in the afternoon?
How does that affect trading and pricing for those commodities as well? And then we would also be talking about the man who sells clothes, right? Those are not
in
very
boutiques, yeah?
in boutiques, yeah. That
Because
person would be affected
people are not
as
going
well.
out anymore like that, social distancing.
So people aren't
So
wearing
people aren't
clothes.
wearing clothes anymore. I mean, there's
you
no
wear what
club.
you already have.
Yeah, you would say people aren't wearing clothes to impress. Because people
would-
would have to wear clothes.
You
You're
would
wearing
wear
clothes.
what you already
Because
have.
You already have
because
that.
We're
I
not
am
talking
coming.
about buying more now.
Yeah, because I'm
Basically, it's not just clothes. It's almost all businesses that would have to suffer in the face of all of this.
And to think that
not necessarily all, because some businesses are still like the filling
In operation?
station, the fuel
Okay,
station
yeah,
are still in
fine.
operation. Banks somehow is still in operation. I mean, look at it from that angle as well.
And we would also be considering people or employees of, the private sector. How is it for you? Do you have your employers paying you? I mean, with the whole work at home thing.
Exactly.
Even if I don't understand what it means, like I said,
No. What about the private sectors? I think that's what she's talking
That's what
about.
I'm saying. I
Do
don't
you have
understand what it
employees?
means.
You could work from home.
What are you working?
You could work from home, not
Sorry,
to work at home.
Sorry. When you say work,
I
work
think
from
it's
home,
different.
When you say
from
work
home.
from home, I'm trying to understand.
You could work from home. We're in a digital age now. People have their systems. You could work using your phone. We have digital marketers now.
You have a
necessarily
point, but
to.
if you are an oil company, how do you work from home?
You could work from home in an oil company.
Okay,
It depends.
If you say so.
Apart from if you're on the field,
I like
in the
where
ring.
this is going.
We
Anyway,
will hear from them.
Definitely, certain people cannot work from home.
We
Certain
will
people have to
hear
be on the field.
from them, because that's basically what business today is all about. We're going to be, hearing from them and say, okay, how was work from home like? Like she asks, are you being paid your full
salary, or because you're working from home and at your comfort zone, you probably get half of the money, or thank you for being diligent and all.
Sorry to divert for a bit. Yesterday we had the argument about federal government employing or thinking of absorbing 700 and how many youths.
Okay.
Now, do you realize that on today's bulletin on the news at 12 o'clock, the federal government has not been able to pay the doctors who are working at the quarantine center in Abuja. So it's very essential. It's very essential we have this conversation because I feel like
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people will lose their job. Now you brought out this work from home stuff.
Yes.
Because companies are not making full profits. Some companies are running at a loss.
Many
so that will mean that a lot of these people who think they are working from home might not have a job maybe in the next 2 months. And the federal government is not able to pay social distancing. Somebody just sneezed into my face. That's why.
Nobody sneezed into your
You
face.
sneezed into my face, young man.
All right, so
Anyways.
we're moving away from that.
Anyways, I was saying, I don't want to sneeze, but I was saying that a lot of these people might not have jobs in 2 months.
Okay.
What is the Rivers State government doing? Can the Rivers State government also absorb these people? Because the federal government who wants to absorb people have not paid other people's salaries.
You see, my biggest fear in all of this, my biggest fear is job security for a lot of
that
persons
is
who work for the private
looking at.
sector.
Yeah.
I mean, after now, we would see most businesses might, wind up folding up.
That's what we're looking at now, yeah?
Most of these businesses may not be able to retain as much
Exactly.
workers. So I don't know how this is looking at for you.
Exactly, because now, yesterday, like I said, we talked about it from the federal government angle where we looked at, noble idea, but I asked the question, is it feasible? Is it feasible? And now for this to happen in Rivers State, where the people who are residing in Rivers, remember they pay their taxes, and revenue fall is due to the decline in tax payments due to the COVID-19 that we are facing right now. So the government has to do things to secure these taxpayers. And I don't know how they want to do it, because what I'm seeing them do right about now is playing politics with the whole COVID-19 thing. And yes, they are playing, but I said it yesterday. First of all,
who exactly is playing politics?
I'm talking about Rivers State now. We're focusing on Rivers State now. Okay. First of all, making the PDP chairman.
That's your bone of contention.
I'm going to go back there.
Bone of contention.
Yes.
Okay.
That is them playing politics with it. But the truth is, COVID-19 is not the amount of people who are infected in Rivers State. Right. It is the economic situation, the economic implications, that surrounds the COVID-19 in the first place. And I'm wondering, like I said, imagine if last year, 2019, we talked about insecurity like almost every day. And that is with some people having jobs. Now, imagine more people not having jobs to the already current situation that we have.
And then imagine the whole thing. You remember when Christine Gige was talking about the 100 million unemployed people
yeah.
and unemployable people? I'm wondering how they would, make a speech about
that. River State topped the list, by the way. River State and Akwa Ibom.
And you see that's why the government really needs to plan now. We're talking about the government being proactive, because after the pandemic, it will be worse. Because we would have new people fall into those, unemployed people. And the government needs to plan now. All of those monies, all the $150 million, dollars, all of the money.
You see what we were talking about on Monday?
Exactly.
What are they doing to help the economy after now? That's what we're talking about.
I do feel like let's focus on River State now.
River State. I did read that the federal government has started to pay, 20,000 to some families here in River State as well. Because people were complaining and people were saying that that it hasn't gotten to River State, that it was only in the north and stuff like that. But I did read yesterday that the federal government has started to pay people here in River State.
I'm vulnerable.
And Number State.
I've not seen it.
No. You have to be part of there's a program. Which you have
so your
to
name
be part
has
of.
to
your
be
name, you have to be part of that program.
Part of what?
Funny enough, most people most people, including myself, haven't really heard of the program before up until now.
The truth is,
so now, sorry.
Okay.
All these programs, in time past, when we poll on radio, people will tell you that these things are politicized. These things are done.
Okay, yeah. National Social Register. Families registered. Only 1 million. The federal government now has said that only 1 million Nigerian families whose names are on the National Social Register will get the 20,000 naira palliative.
So what happens to
those other people who probably don't know about the register?
Where has this register been?
And are in River State.
No. I'm not doubting the fact that this program was up and running before now.
Have you heard of it before?
Doubting. Have you heard of it before? No, I haven't. But as I said, I'm not doubting that it could have been up and running before now. But my problem is it doesn't cover a tangible amount. Not all. I'm not talking all. This is Nigeria, but it doesn't cover a tangible amount. 1 million out of over 100 million people who are unemployed.
Mind
over
you,
100
that's
million people.
1 million households. So probably let's say
that's what I'm saying.
Averagely 4 people.
That's what I'm saying. Household. Yeah, over 100 million people who are unemployed and vulnerable and poorest of the poor. And then just 1 million households. So I do feel that on its own, on the federal level, may not be able to cover a tangible amount. But anyway, if the 1 million household will get to see the money, good. At least they started something.
But now see I have my reservations too.
Okay.
What do you call it? You get registered for what?
Nigerian Social Register.
National Social Register.
Oh, national.
Oh, national, not family. National social
register. It's like, I guess it's a register where you have, as a family, you go to. Basically, I haven't really,
I like how you're trying to explain this. But back here in River State.
It's a social register.
No,
back here in River State.
I wanted to say something.
Okay.
Even if I have my reservations about this register that we don't even know the name and we've never heard of it before, up until now that they're sharing 20,000 naira. Don't show me. I've heard it. At least the federal government has a register. I'm not supporting them. I have my reservations, and you can all hear it from the sound of my voice. I have my reservation, and I think it's politics, by the way. I'm going to put it out there. But let's bring it to River State. They have a register. What are we doing in River State? Do we have a register of the businesses in River State?
Of course, they should be register of no.
They should be.
We have the River State.
Normally, businesses, investors would have to register their businesses first before you start up anything.
Does the government have it?
The government should have
we don't have data in Nigeria.
We do.
You know what?
Means they do. This is business. This is where they get their revenues from.
When you went to university, you registered, right? You did course registration. Please go back to university and look for it. They will tell you that they can't find those documents. And that's
we know that we have most of those.
And that's the fact.
We have those shortfallings, right? But that should only happen in the university system or some other lower organization. We're talking about the state government now.
Are you saying the tertiary?
We're talking about the state government now.
See, the truth of the matter is,
in the university, I'll be
in this situation, these are businesses from which the state government or the federal government get their taxes and get their revenues from. So there is no how. There is no how they would know the number of taxpayers evaders. if they don't have a register, which means they do have a register.
All right.
So that clears that.
Now, you should also know, I still do not agree with you on that one, but you should also know that there are a lot of businesses that are not registered.
From
They
the
are
informal sector.
Okay, thank God you spoke the big English. No, Allah.
Okay. That aside, right? But I do expect that the state government should, come out and say, when he talked about buying agricultural produce from farmers and fishermen here in the state, I do expect that before now maybe in the long run.
I like the way he's
in the
maybe.
long run.
I like the way you're getting my maybe. It's a maybe.
In the long run,
Anyways, go
I
ahead.
expect that he comes out and say that, okay, well, earmarking this amount of money to facilitate planting and cultivation after the pandemic, so that the state government would be somehow in
Exactly.
charge. Okay, you buy the idea?
I
as
bet the
well?
idea. I bet the idea because I believe immediately after the pandemic, it's a very good time to diversify, because when you diversify, you're creating like a whole new
the
industry.
planning starts now.
The planning should start now.
I disagree. I disagree. But go ahead.
Unemployed people can go there and get employment.
Take us up on it. Why do you disagree?
Diversification should start now, not after the
That's
pandemic.
what I'm saying.
You said after the pandemic.
I said immediately after the pandemic is the right time to have the industry. How do we start it now? How do we start it now?
Mechanized farming.
How do we start it now?
It's agriculture.
Thank God.
How do we start it now? We're talking about planning.
Shout into my face.
It's a different thing when you say you want to plan for something now, and it's a different thing when you say you want to start something now.
Okay, now.
So how do we start now?
This is it. No, this is it.
Okay.
Let's borrow a leaf from America, right? America is also fighting COVID-19. And
right.
I mean, if you look at the news, they had 1,800 and something deaths yesterday, and the highest ever in terms of COVID-19. Yet Donald Trump is still saying that he wants to revamp his economy. How is he going to revamp his economy? He said he's going to pump more money into the industries. He's going to pump money into the manufacturing. Right now during the pandemic.
Pumping more money.
Wait now, right now, at the time he gave the speech, and that's why I say he's going to. He's going to pump more money into the economy, manufacturing sector, industries. Every of those things will be up and running.
Did you hear the part where we said he would earmark money for agriculture and whatever other sectors?
Is we should start now.
How?
He said after the COVID-19, and I'm saying we could start now. We could like we talked about yesterday.
Wonderful.
You mentioned mechanized farming. Wonderful idea. Because whether you like it or not, people are still importing and exporting. How did we get hold of some of the medical supplies? We imported them from China.
Interesting.
My point being,
the medical supply is to ease the issue or the problem of the
I
pandemic.
agree with you.
See, I get your point.
So
I get your
getting
point.
tractors into River State for farming is also to ease
Would the tractors be
economy.
operated by people though?
Social distancing.
No, it's operate itself. A
tractor doesn't.
We have tractors that operate itself.
No. I'm trying to understand.
But then again, tractors don't need two people. That's what I'm saying. Social distancing. So one person on the tractor, the other person. See, mechanized farming. Get yourself. We have this Songhai farm. Get yourself. It's a big parcel of land. We can start now, and agriculture is not the only thing. We can do. We have former Rizzo Palm. Yeah, where they do palm oil. Industries could work.
But do you understand that right about now we're trying to contain this virus, and to contain the virus and flatten the curve, people need to stay in their houses.
But do you know that manufacturing companies are working? Did you listen to the presidential
speech?
Because
they are regarded as vital. Now we're talking about diversifying. We're talking about diversifying.
I think where we have the bone of contention here is when to start. I mean, the money is not just enough. You want us to start now. But then we're talking about an economy that doesn't have even enough money to provide for the medical preventive measures to curb the pandemic.
I disagree with you.
I'm not trying to overrule your point here, but I'm saying that right now the government should already have plans. If they have the money, they can start now. If they do not have the funds ready at hand, they can start planning and making certain.
They have the money.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Okay, they have the money.
No, hold on there. WHO gave Nigeria some millions, in case you guys, some billions, I can't remember. Yesterday for medical supplies.
82 million.
Supplies.
Is it the one?
Yeah, medical supplies. IMF is giving us back our money, our shares, in the so that's enough money. So some other person is donating. I mean, people are donating naturally. Nigerian billionaires are donating. So we have the money now. You see, if it's the money, we have the money. We have our foreign reserves. If it's the money, we've got money. This is the time. See, and the truth is, it's not like COVID-19 has started ravaging us like it's doing in the rest of the world, where we say all our monies are gone. The reason why we are even attempting recession is because we solely depended on oil. It's not COVID-19 that is doing us this. It's our sole dependency on oil.
It's COVID-19 that is facilitating it.
My point is, in other countries, COVID-19 is hitting them hard. That is what has crippled their economy. And if we that have not yet gotten to the stage where COVID-19 should cripple our economy, we can diversify.
It's already crippling our economy because these other countries that are being adversely affected are maybe solid buyers of our producers. So I don't know.
That's my point. And if we get, this is it now. Imagine we do agriculture. Imagine we do textile.
Tourism.
No, leave tourism. I mean, nobody's coming in. I even before you close the borders, remember I told you.
But if you build tourism, people would come in.
Come in what now? Their COVID-19.
After the pandemic.
After the pandemic.
Fine. But we're not. I'm talking about now. I want to paint a picture for you guys now. Go with me. Travel with me now. This is the business mentality.
The borders. This is travel.
Listen. This is my borders are not closed. but my point is textile now, right?
Okay.
Textile is necessary for the building of the face mask and all that stuff, for even protective gears for health workers all around the world.
Right.
So moving to textile, for instance, we can export textile to the rest of the world. Wait. Agriculture. I'm going somewhere. Agriculture now. Imagine we do food to the point where there is surplus. The rest of Africa is also grappling with COVID-19, and we're supposed to be the giants of Africa, right?
Okay.
Up until COVID-19 started ravaging Africa, we were the biggest economy in Africa. So people will then look to us to feed. Diversification. I'm not going to end there. Iron. The world will be producing. I do hear that for the ventilators, there's a little bit of iron, and you need to use all of this stuff to produce it. We could begin to sell because the world is distracted. Diversification. And how does River State come into all of this? River State can invest into all of these things, not just oil, agriculture. We can start selling fish because nobody wants to buy from China anymore. We can start exporting fish to the rest of the world.
And that is why we have said that the government can earmark monies to put into these sectors so that in the end of the day,
see, that's my point now. The plan.
See,
that's
the thing is, they have to plan. You know why? Because even before the pandemic, and they had all the time to think this through, because these are good investments, procedures and all of that. They had the time to think this through, and that didn't work at that time. At this time, when there is a problem staring us in the face, we have this issue of insecurity that we have to grapple with in the states, because a lot of people will get hungry, and before you know, criminality increases. We have the issue of curbing or making sure that our investors do not leave the states afterwards, because we don't want a situation of high unemployment or unemployment getting high. I feel that all the government can do at this point is earmark and plan and make sure that when it is the right time, they begin to invest in all of this.
Do you know why we can't start now? Do you know why we can't start now? Because before you start something, you have to have started planning. Before you start, you don't just start things.
Wait. You guys keep saying planning. You guys keep saying planning. Let's go to 2015 election, before the elections, or when they were campaigning. What were their campaigns about? We will diversify. They have these plans.
So basically what you're saying is we have to plan.
They know these things. You think they don't know them? They just don't want to do them. That's my argument. And the time is now.
You do realize now. You mentioned something. You said the whole world is distracted. Now, Nigeria is part of the whole world. Nigeria itself is distracted by the coronavirus. We have to save people's lives.
As far as I'm concerned, we have contained this virus better than many other countries in the world.
All of this issue of implementation right now, you should also understand that the sectors that you need this implementation to begin to pan out are long-term investment sectors, right? So I think that they have
to long-term.
If textile wasn't long-term, you would ask yourself why the federal government had invited the Turkish firm to come in and help with the paramilitary uniforms and everything. So it's because we do not have anything on ground yet.
We do. It's because we do not like made in Nigeria. And this is the time where we begin, not even just made in Nigeria, made in River State now. The governor needs to look made in River State, and that's what I'm saying.
All right. Enough with all the things that could have been or things that should be. Let's get your opinion. We've talked about the same thing, but in two different ways. All right. First off, we've talked about you as an individual. Have you been affected? Price increase in foodstuff, commodities, and as a trader, how have you also been affected? And we also brought in the issue of private sector and its employees. Do you have job security after now? Do you feel that your firm will be able to stand strong and even pay you during this period? And then what can River State do for the future after the pandemic, the post-pandemic era? What are we going to do? Are we going to grapple with unemployment, or we should start now and plan for a better future?
And basically, if you are residing in River State and you do business, or you are friends with people who do business, because the focus actually is on River State today. Okay. That's the focus actually is on River State. So if you're doing business in River State, tell us how you've been faring. I mean, with all of these lockdowns, hash directives from government, so to say, because it's hash, because we're talking business today, it's hash on businesses. How has your business been faring? Have you been closed down because you don't have customers? Have you been running diesel and not having the usual returns and profits? Are you on what do you call it now? Employer of labor. Your employees working from home. Are you getting the required
result and productivity?
Exactly. So we'd like to hear from you, because we want to know, because we want to tackle the governor actually, and we want him to actually put in the right palliatives. But we first of all want to hear, because this is the voice of the people, and we want to hear from you, and we want you to tell us, what is it like in the business environment in River State? Are you a market woman? What is the market like? Call us in.
All right, the phone lines are pretty much open. 0817 0000951, 0810 9510951. And you can send in your text messages to the number
0701 933 39962.
95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies.
Good afternoon.
My name is Comrade Embry.
Comrade, welcome.
Yes, thank you. I'm a graphic operator. Our business doesn't strive when there is no light.
Okay.
So you say you're what? You are a
graphic.
I'm a graphic operator.
All right, graphic. Okay, yeah.
We're into graphic. We are into printing.
I get.
And graphic designs and all of that.
Yeah. Now, our business doesn't strive when there is no light, and when there is no light, we burn much of diesel.
All right.
Yeah. But you see that if, for instance, you're going to make 1,000 naira and you're using 800 naira to buy diesel, what is the profit at the end of the day?
Is this something that has just recently happened as a result of the current situation that we find? It's something that you've been facing
over time,
because we're looking at what your current challenges now.
It's over time, but within this period, we face more challenges.
Okay.
Right now, as we speak to you, there is no light for over 2 weeks.
Speaking of which, do you still have enough people calling you in,
to
get designs, print up stuff?
Now, right now, there is a very slow down in terms of patronage. In terms of patronage, we have a very limited patronage than before. Those times when there is wedding, when there is churches having a program, we have more of
and all of those places are on lockdown now, yeah?
Yes, so it's really biting hard on our
So who are the clients calling you right now? Who is printing? Who are those people still printing stuff?
Yeah, right now the people that easily call you are the people that doing some supermarket. That you can,
all right.
Area you can easily getting from little. If not, it's really a shutdown.
All right. Thank you very much, comrade. Thank you very much. Thank you, comrade, for calling in.
95.1 FM. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. What's your name?
Yes.
Yes, this is Imam Manam. I'm calling from University.
All right. Welcome. Rep your business now. What do you do?
You see, the rent of price of goods and services is alarming because of this pandemic.
Okay.
Please, down. Even the rent of poverty, unemployment is alarming because of this pandemic.
That's not what we're talking about now. We're looking at how you're directly.
Have you been directly affected?
Your businesses. What is how is your business? How is your business rather thriving? And
are you